Some of our most vulnerable and underserved communities are in rural Alabama. Several agencies, including one in Huntsville, are making sure no one gets left behind for COVID vaccinations. Our Kenesha Dees has the details.
I'm here on the campus of Alabama A&M University, and behind me is Carnegie Hall. Inside of Carnegie Hall is the North Alabama Area Health Education Center, which is part of the cause to make sure people in rural areas are getting vaccinated.
So the program office for that is here at UAB, but there are 5 separate centers that are standalone operations.
Huntsville is one of those 5 locations. Alabama AHEC created a network last year of community partners from across the state by providing community-based training to teams involved with COVID-19 testing in rural and underserved Alabama. Now it's vaccination.
But what we're trying to do is to deliver it at the grassroots level through networks of people who will then help bring those people out of the margins in order to get vaccinated.
The Alabama National Guard and the Alabama Department of Public Health have also teamed up to administer the vaccine in rural communities. Vaccine hesitancy has been a key issue.
Hesitancy does not mean refusal. Hesitancy just means that persons need their questions answered so that they will be able to make informed decisions about their health.
Doctors say the majority of those rural populations are Black and minority groups, but they're starting to see the number of vaccinations pick up.
Very small counties actually have quite high percentages in terms of the overall numbers of persons who have received at least one COVID-19 vaccine.
Putting the Valley first, Kenesha Dees, WZDX News.